Hello, my loves. Welcome back. Today's episode is for a woman who's either starting her spiritual journey or she has been on this journey for a while now, but still she feels a little confused, a little tired, a little alone. And today, honestly, this conversation, I want to discuss everything that I wish somebody had told me when I was in my early 20s. And I thought I was waking up, but I had no idea that I was about to fall apart. And I wish somebody back then had told me to do this journey in a feminine way. So today I want to talk about what it looks like to walk this spiritual path the feminine way. And when I say feminine path, this is not the glamorous version, this is not the Instagram version, but this is the real essence of the journey that I would like to speak about, which I have understood on this path, on the way. And it's still kind of on for me. So let me start here. The first thing that I would like to say, you don't even have to call it a spiritual journey. So you can drop the word spiritual altogether. This word has been it's been overused. It has been so romanticized. It has been packaged that sometimes it does more harm than good. I remember when I started this journey, everything had to be called spiritual. Spiritual practices, spiritual routines, spiritual identity. And then somewhere along the way, it started to feel heavy, like I was trying to perform awakening rather than simply living it. And the day I stopped calling it spiritual and simply said that I'm just trying to understand myself, it softened something inside of me. And it felt like the pressure simply dropped. So if you also don't resonate with it, drop it. Just call this a journey of knowing yourself better, a journey of becoming more honest, more intimate with your inner world. Because the moment something starts to feel like an identity that you have to perform, that is something that the feminine doesn't want. In the presence of performance, she just quietly leaves the room. So use the word if it makes you feel connected to it, but if it feels like performance, drop it. The next thing is, which no one tells us in the beginning, spiritual awakenings don't begin with peace and clarity. Spiritual awakenings, or awakening in general, really feels graceful. It begins with infinite questions, with a lot of emptiness, with a strange sense that the life you were living no longer fits. So imagine someone waking up one morning and this woman suddenly feels like that her career achievements, they all feel hollow, and her friendships, relationships, something feels off about them. She's standing in her kitchen at 2 a.m. in the morning with a cup of tea, maybe, and wondering if she's losing her mind. And yes, this can be reality that you do feel so disconnected that you literally feel like you're losing your mind. And you might even lose relationships. You might lose ambition. You might lose clarity, focus, motivation, all the markers of what society calls success. And you will wonder, what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong. These are not failures. They are initiations. Your soul is basically pulling you out of what's familiar and into the remembrance of who you are. And this is absolutely destabilizing. But the feminine journey never awakens you through comfort alone. So let yourself feel the confusion if that's what you're feeling, because that's a sign that the feminine path is at work. Now, next, what I want to say is something important. Do not turn your healing into a self-improvement project. This path is not about, constantly correcting yourself or optimizing yourself, becoming perfect version of who you think you should be. In my journey, I've understood that's not healing. That's self-rejection dressed as growth. So imagine a woman attending workshops after workshops, modalities after modalities, trying to make herself whole as per someone else's map. And still, she feels like a patchwork quilt. This feminine path is a sacred journey of knowing yourself, like, on deeper level as you move through life. And anything, any teacher, any practice, any space that makes you feel like that you have to become somebody else other than who you are to be worthy, awakened, healed is not for you. Healing does not demand perfection. Just remember this. It asks for your honesty. Next point that I would like to say is that don't be afraid of the darkness. I know we all love to talk about love and light, but the feminine path does not bypass the dark. You should know that. It wakes you through grief, fear, anger, loneliness, rage, shame. And these are not signs that you're doing something wrong. If you start to feel these emotions, There's nothing wrong with you. They are part of the process because darkness is where the truth lives. You don't find your light by avoiding your shadows. You find it by staying present with them. So know that you're the woman who's walking into the forest at twilight. You might be right now unsure about which path to take, yet you must step forward anyway. The deeper into the forest you allow yourself to walk, the more you discover the fire within you. The darkness is sacred. It brings clarity. It takes you to your light. Lean into it and let it guide you. Next point is do not exclude your body from your spiritual journey, my love. And this is where I've seen some people get stuck. Your soul chose a body to experience itself through. Your spiritual growth doesn't happen away from the body. It happens through it. There are paths and modalities that disconnect you from your physical body, that make you feel like you have to transcend your humanity in order to be spiritual. This might have worked in older paradigms, but it doesn't work anymore. You will stay in shallow work and performative spirituality if you exclude your body from this process. So, if you're somebody who meditates for hours detached from the body, thinking that enlightenment is only in the mind, then wonder why you still feel anxious, restless, and disconnected. This is why, because the spiritual growth is embodied. So move, breathe, notice the sensations within your body, listen to its wisdom. Spiritual growth flows through your flesh, through your bones, through your heart, not just through the mind or outside of you in some quantum field. Next point is your journey doesn't have to look like someone else's journey. Very important. Comparison kills the feminine path. Maybe your friend's spiritual journey looks Instagram perfect, but you are crying in your living room every night. That's okay. Just because someone else's path looks, graceful, aesthetic, composed, doesn't mean yours is wrong. First of all, we don't know what somebody else's real life looks like, right? Secondly, the feminine heals differently in every woman. Sometimes it looks soft, sometimes it feels messy, sometimes wild, and sometimes silent. So respect your tears, your quiet mornings, your messy nights. That's your sacred growth. Respect the path that life is showing you right now because it knows exactly where you need to go. Next point. The feminine path is non-linear. I have experienced in my journey a lot of spiritual teachings and teachers rooted in masculine structure. It's like the other way of chasing goals, milestones, progress, consistency. But the feminine healing path is cyclical. It's emotional, it's instinctive, it's wild. It asks you to descend before you rise, to unravel before you become. And this is where many women feel lost because they've only been taught or told just to ascend. But your feminine path wants you to ground first. It wants you to feel, it wants you to soften, it wants you to listen. So let's imagine a river, a perfect example of feminine path. Sometimes the river is calm, sometimes it's rushing, sometimes meandering. The water that's flowing, it doesn't ask to be only fast or only to exist in a straight line. It simply flows. So the crux is the healing also doesn't move in a straight line, and neither do you as a cyclical being. Next point is pay attention to disconnection. So I have made this promise to myself. If at any point a practice, a path, a modality starts to feel like heavy, forced, or kind of draining, then this is a message that then I deeply listen to this message because it's a message from the body and I allow myself to change direction. And you are also allowed to change direction if something feels heavy or draining to you. If something feels like an effort instead of alignment, it's not for you. And that's why embodiment matters a lot because when you are connected to your body, you know the somatic taste of truth. You don't need external validation or somebody else to tell you. You feel what doesn't feel right and then change course accordingly. Next point is boundaries are sacred on this path. So as you heal, people may expect you to become endlessly available for them. You mostly become the listener, the emotional support, kind of the free therapist. Imagine a woman hosting everyone's pain, absorbing it, and forgetting her own. But then she realizes that something isn't right, and she starts asserting, I cannot carry what's not mine. I honor my energy first. That's exactly what you should be doing if you face a situation like that. Boundaries are not unspiritual. They are protective. You're not here to save everyone. You are here to walk your path and show others what's possible. Everyone must choose their own healing. Okay, next point is let go of ego flexing and need for speed. Listen, this journey is lifelong. There'll be moments when you want the fastest way possible. Don't try to speed up the process because that's not an option. There are no shortcuts here. And people definitely will be ready to sell you an illusion that, XYZ, 10 steps to your freedom and stuff like that. And sometimes there's ego flexing in spiritual spaces. Who's done more work, more modalities, more trainings? Please remember, this is not a race. There is no finish line. Don't become that woman who's checking off modalities like badges, comparing herself to everyone. This only leads to exhaustion, frustration, and a lingering feeling of emptiness. So be mindful of not forcing yourself into the methods that don't feel natural, because this creates a split between what your soul truly wants and what your mind thinks you should do. And remember, when we try to get everything right, we often lose what's real. So remember not to rush and allow yourself to ripen. So this is all what I wanted to discuss today in this episode. And I would say that if you take nothing from this episode, just remember this thing. There's no healing without the feminine. She's the nurturer, she's the healer. She's the one who destroys the illusion and return us to truth. And if you're here questioning, softening, unraveling, just open yourself up to the wisdom of the feminine and she will guide you back to yourself. And lastly, remember, my love, you're not behind. You're exactly where the path begins. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.